But to get more into where Stitt is really going politically, here is his tweet, and then I'll switch over to his press release. For the first time in Oklahoma history, I am requesting a full audit of the Oklahoma State Department of Ed. With a historic investment and billions flowing into the SDE, students and parents deserve to know how their taxpayer dollars are being spent. So this is doo-doo. There is a lot of active rumors that that Stitt is or that the current state superintendent, Joy Hoffmeister, is considering a run against Stitt, either as a Republican in the primary or possibly going as a Democrat, which I would vote that if you're going to do it, because I don't think you can beat Stitt in a Republican primary. Anyway, this is like a naked political attack on a potential rival, utilizing other state agencies. It's also going to potentially give fodder for Secretary of Education Ryan Walters, who's announced to run for state superintendent. So it does a lot of work politically for Stitt. The State Department of Ed is audited every year. I don't know what difference this audit is, a full audit versus, I guess, the half audits they do. Anyway, so that's weird. And then, like, the whole spending thing. Like, I imagine the SD's gotten a bunch of extra money due to CARES Act and the American Recovery Plan and other one-time monies. But, like, the idea that, like, this year we're magically spending the most money that we've ever spent before, I just want to push back on that for 2 seconds, because for two reasons. One, we have the most kids we've ever had before. Like, as population grows, you have more people in school. So you're always going to have more kids the next year than the year before, unless a mass death event happens with kids, in which case you've got other problems than worrying about education funding for that year, probably. But the number two is and then inflation. I mean, like every year things get a little more expensive. So, like, unless something catastrophic happens, every year should be a record year for education spending. So I just want to push back on that, because that's like a common refrain from conservatives that, like, oh my God, we're spending the most we've ever spent. And it's like, well, yeah, you should be. Like, if you're not, something else has gone terribly wrong, and you should probably be worrying about that. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they'll find. Cindy Birds is the state auditor. She seems reasonable. She went after Epic, laid down the law. I mean, I guess if you look hard enough, you could find something.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a big agency.
Yeah, it's a law agency. If you look hard enough anywhere, you'll find something. But here's the thing. Allow me to audit the Oklahoma department, the state of Department of Education in the state. They broke, and they're massively underfunded, and kids ain't learning a goddamn thing. Like, it's interesting. And again, and I think we'll get to this on another matter, right? But I tell that story about the person from heaven meeting the person from hell, and the person from heaven saying, "Hey, how is hell? Explain hell to me." Like, we have really long forks, really long spoons, and we have a feast laid out before us, right? But because we have these long forks and long spoons, I can't eat it. I'm just trying to shovel the shit in my mouth, and I just can't, because the long spoons and the long forks, and it's torture. But we got AC, like, that's hell, right? Like, and the person, he's like, well, describe heaven to me. Like, weirdly enough, same thing. Super long spoons, super long forks, a whole feast laid out, but we fixed it. It's like, well, how did you fix it? Well, we feed each other, right? I fix my friend's plate, she fixes my plate, and I take my long fork, get what she wants, put it in her mouth. She takes the long spoon, give me what I want, and that's how we fix that problem. That's our thought process. We don't feed each other. Education in this state has been horrible for generations. That's a fact. If you just look at the rankings, that's a fact. No one will argue with Kevin Stitt that we need to improve the quality of education in the state of Oklahoma. No one argues with that. That is not an arguable point. Auditing the State Department of Education, when they get audited every fucking year, is just completely missing the fucking point. right? It's refusing to feed each other. It's refusing to say, okay, how can we improve the Department of Education? Because the answer is, quite frankly, really easy. You need to give them more resources,
right?
Which is antithetical to who he is as a human being. If you want to, and using human being,
Well, no, I mean, he wants to give resources to like his. I mean, like with the CARES Act money, despite the fact that only 10% of kids go to private school, he gave them 25% of the funds. So it's like he knows how to like tilt the table. I mean, he's not an idiot. He's very intentional about how he fucks over the majority to help to help rich private school kids.
So there's that, right? There's this fundamental fundamental disagreement as to what we need to be doing. And one side is political points and one side is actually helping children. Right. So that's the first thing. And it's ironic that we just talked about how he was so concerned about fetuses, but now he don't give a fuck about educating them a year later.
Yeah.
So there's that. Secondly, if you want to score some political points, there's room for you about education and education misfunding. There's room for you to score political points that I think you get from both sides of the aisle, which is let's audit the fuck out of Epic. Let's audit the shit out of Epic. They're wasting all this money. I'm gonna send watchdogs. I'm gonna start a fucking task force. I'm gonna destroy Epic. I'm gonna hang them on a fucking cross as the poster boys of wasting your taxpayer money and giving you shit for it. If you wanted to score political points with probably both sides, he could if he did that, right, not only is he actually solving a problem, he could get like a big ups from Nick Singer. Like even Nick, like, I mean, fam, like I don't fuck with you, but like I get it. Like that. So if you want to talk about, like, there is room to score political points, address a real issue, help out Oklahoma's children, and that's Epic, right?
Yep.
So, but he didn't choose to do that. He chose to go after the entire Department of Education because it's never about just fucking helping people. It's about cheap political points, and that's horrible. And children of Oklahoma's children suffer. Guess who loses in this?
Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.